Hello everyone, welcome back to Owen's Treats. First of all, happy Halloween. I hope you guys had a good Halloween. I know it's over, but fall season is still not over to me yet. So I thought we'd do air fryer cinnamon apple bombs. And so let's get into it. So with this here, we have all our ingredients to make our cinnamon apple bombs. Third cup of butter and a little bit extra. Half a cup of granulated sugar mixed within 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 cup of apple pie filling, 1 can of Pillsbury flaky layer biscuit. I have enough apple filling to make 2 batches, so I'm using 2 cans. But either one works for the biscuit dough. So with that, let's get into our first step. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off by preparing everything for our filling. And basically, I'm going to take our third cup of butter, and I'm going to melt this down in the microwave on 30-second increments until it's all the way melted and completed. But first, we're going to make our cinnamon sugar, which is going to have us take our granulated sugar, and we're going to measure around half a cup. It does not have to be perfect, and it does not have to be perfectly measured, and I'm also going to be making 2 batches, so it's going to be a little bit more, but you want to go for around half a cup. And then I have our ground cinnamon here, and I'm going to get around 2 teaspoons. But we're going to whisk this together, and we're going to set this aside. So that's our cinnamon sugar done. And then for our apple pie filling, what we're going to need to get done is that we're going to open our can of apple pie filling. We're going to pop open our apple filling, and we're going to pour it into a bowl. And I have a pair of chef scissors, and basically what we're going to do is that these are full apple slices, but we want them smaller because we want them to fit into our biscuits, and we want them just a little bit smaller. 1/2-inch pieces, bite size if you will. And I'm just going to go with my scissors, I'm going to go and cut. So now that we have our apples cut into our bite-sized pieces, we're going to set this off to the side, and we're going to move on to our official next step, which is going to be assembling them. So now we're going to move on to assembling our apple pie bombs. Okay, so now our next step is assembly, and I'm actually going to be sitting down for this because it's going to take me a little bit. So basically what we're going to start off with is that we have all our prepared stuff. We have our melted butter, our cinnamon sugar, and our cut apple pie filling. And I have our biscuit dough here. So I'm going to start off with just one of our biscuit dough. If you're only doing one, that's okay too. And I'm going to peel and open this up. Set that aside. Then I'm going to use a spoon and open it. These always scare me. I'm always scared to open these because I never know when they're gonna pop out. Okay, so we have our biscuit dough here. I'm gonna open this up, and I have a plate here with paper towel at the bottom, just in case if I'm a little messy. But we're gonna take out our biscuit dough, and I'm going to set some of these off to the side. I'm gonna start pinching the middle and then working my way out until it begins to kind of flatten out. Now you can use a rolling pin, but it also kind of seems excessive for something this small. Now that we have it to about here, I'm going to take a spoon, and I'm going to scoop in just 1 spoonful of our pie filling. And I might just do a little bit more, just so we have this middle filled in here. So maybe like 2-ish. If you're doing a really big spoonful, like this much, then do just 1. But I'm doing a little bit smaller to make sure, because this is also my first one. And I'm gonna start by dragging in the outside corners. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take from one end to the other. I'm gonna pinch them together like that, so you kind of have like a cannoli shape. And then I'm gonna take the opposite sides, and I'm gonna pull them in so it's kind of almost like a dumpling. And then I want to pinch any of these seams. So no filling escape. And I also have my racks for my air fryer off to the side. Or if you're using the oven, get a baking sheet, line it with parchment paper, and have it off to the side. Be careful not to tear it off or not to drag it off or anything like that, because you're going to want to punch a hole into it. And basically what we're going to do is that we're going to take it and we're going to dip our end, one of our ends, either our top or our bottom, and we're just going to dip it into our melted butter. And we're going to let that drip off the excess, and then we're going to roll that buttered side into our cinnamon sugar and lift up. And so you kind of see how you have that bottom with no sugar, and then you're going to put the sugar side up onto your rack or stand like this. Also, if your metal for your air fryer if it is non-stick, don't spray it. If it's not, then spray it with a nice light coating of pan cooking spray. We're just going to keep repeating this process until we have all our dough balls done. And basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that there's room in between each one, and then we'll move on to our next step. Okay, so now that we have our apple pie bombs all made, we're gonna then move on to our next step, or yes, now our step, which is going to be baking them. So there's two options for to do this. Either the air fryer, which is gonna be you're gonna preheat your air fryer at 350 degrees, and then once it's preheated, you're gonna pop them in for 7-ish minutes until they're golden brown and they're crispy on the outside. However, if you want to do it in the oven, preheat the oven to 375 degrees, the oven to 375 degrees, and then you're going to bake them for around 15 minutes until they're golden brown and they're crispy on the top. So I'm going to pop these into my air fryer if you're doing the oven, baking sheet, parchment paper, and then into your oven for 15 minutes. I'm going to pop these in for 7 minutes into my air fryer. So I'm going to let these bake, and then I'll be back with our final result. And here are finished pie bombs out of the air fryer. They look delicious, they smell great, so I can't wait to eat these. Thank you guys for joining me on another episode of Owen's Treats, and I'll see you guys in the next one.